Welcome, everyone, to a brand new season debut episode of Bear Truth with Danny Shimon. And that guy there is Danny Shimon. Danny, how are you, brother?
What's up, Aldo? How you doing? Yep, it's our season debut. It's been a couple of weeks here, 7 weeks to be specific, and we just figured, we knew what the Bears were going to be a younger team developing, and obviously the bigger overall picture here was Justin Fields, and we just figured let's give them some games under their belt, both Fields and the team overall, and then we'll just do to start doing these shows of Bear Truth here, and is going into digging into the tape and showing what we like, what we don't like, and then just kind of elaborating and bringing our audience into what we're seeing every Sunday and then Monday after we review the tape.
So let me begin before I get to the topic of Justin Fields, who is going to be our main topic tonight, let's talk about the blockbuster trade. Ryan Poles pulls the trigger on moving defensive end Robert Quinn with his one sack this season to the Philadelphia Eagles for a fourth-round draft pick. What do you think about the deal, the quality of the deal? What do you think what could happen to the morale of this team? Do you think it could impact how this team plays moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to uncover there. So the first thing is in terms of what they got in return. A fourth round pick for an aging defensive end who's coming off of a great season last year, but only had one sack, this year so far. Had some pressures, especially this game against New England. Gave Trent Brown, a former All-Pro tackle, some problems there. But yet he just wasn't producing. And so in terms of what they got back from, could they have gotten something better in the offseason? Him coming off 18 and a half sacks. Maybe, possibly, but then you also have to think about the salary, right? He's got two non-guaranteed salary of I think 14 and 13 million respectively in the next couple of seasons. The Bears are paying his 7.1 million of his current what's left of his current season. So the Eagles are only all they're taking on is basically $700,000. I believe I read that in the update. So that's why they got a fourth round pick. So my only question was, could they have gotten something better in the offseason? We will never know. But the one thing I do know is they wanted him in this locker room because they wanted Eberflus and the coaching staff because of the veteran presence. And I think some of that came to light today with Roquan Smith's reaction. And Roquan was really emotional in terms of losing Robert Quinn. These guys are a brotherhood in there. And, obviously, Quinn's been a good leader. He was voted team captain, right, this season. So, this is a guy that's got a leadership role on this team. And I think that's why they wanted him in this locker room to get the foundation started, get the foundation built. And the other point of your question, Aldo, is, I think it could hurt. I mean, you're coming off of a big victory Monday night, national TV, that the players are on a high coming into a short week. And now you kind of pull the rug underneath them and trade one of their leaders for a fourth round pick. I think some players may see this as a team just, saying, hey, you know what, they are not really trying to compete this year. Albeit, you and I and a lot of our fans or listeners know that the Bears aren't really trying to compete this year or go for a Super Bowl, but they are 3-4. They are half a game out of the last wild card spot. So technically they are in competition here. So I think that's curious to see how it's going to, translate on the field, especially on a short week playing Sunday in Dallas. The other thing that excites me, being the scout that I am, is now I'm seeing some of these young players get more action. Travis Gibson has been a guy that I came in with some high expectations coming off of a 7-sack campaign last year. So far, he's been very underwhelming, in my opinion, in terms of what he's done. Now, the last couple of weeks, he's kind of fortified himself with some better run defensive plays, and he has gotten some more pressure on the quarterback, a little more consistent pressure on the quarterback, not the sacks per se, but just getting that pressure there. Obviously, Robinson, the fifth round kid from Miami of Ohio, he's a guy that we liked. I liked, at training camp. He's done a pretty good job so far in the season. We'll see him get more playing time. Obviously, Muhammad, the veteran they brought in from the Colts, who's been starting opposite of Robert Quinn. And then we'll see that they picked up this kid, Jonathan. I think it's Ingley from waivers off of Buffalo. I think it is.
Right.
We haven't seen him. He's been inactive. Maybe they'll give him a shot now to be part of that rotation as well. So, but for me personally, Robinson and Gibson, I want to see what these kids do with this opportunity along with Muhammad and see if they can now capitalize, because the Bears have not been generating any sort of pressure, consistent pressure, I should say,
Right.
with our front four. And this defense is all reliant on that front four getting that pressure. Now, we knew that interior was going to be, a patchwork until probably this offseason. But the ends with Quinn, with Gibson, with Muhammad coming in, we expected consistent pressure and we just weren't getting it. At least the sacks were not there, right? Last week they had one sack and that was a Roquan Smith blitz. So, are you going to miss him on the field? Probably not. Probably more so you're going to miss him in the locker room with his leadership.
Yeah, and I agree with J2K that Gibson has been playing, maybe fantastic is too big a word for it, but he has been playing well. And in fact, I think it was Jordan that said that you're getting much more pressure on the quarterback from players who weren't named Robert Quinn. So you're right. This is Ryan Poles talking about the impact of the trade and how he took it personally, but he also talked about some of the players who are going to inherit that position and his confidence in those players. This is Ryan Poles. It's about 1 minute and 10 seconds.
I've hit on this before. Obviously, part of the tough thing with this job and this position are the tough decisions you have to make. And I always feel like there's the emotional side, the human part of it that you're affecting not only like a man, but also his family, and you're kind of shaking that all up. And I don't take that lightly at all, and I'm sensitive to that. You also know that you're tweaking the fibers of your locker room, and that's a big deal too. And he meant a lot to that locker room, but I'm fully confident that the guys, especially on the defensive side, the Jalen Johnsons, the Eddie Jacksons, the Roquan Smiths, Justin Jones, those guys are going to continue to hold it down and be leaders on that defense and help us continue to move forward. Then on the business side, it just made too much sense for what we're trying to do. It's going to allow us to continue to build a highly competitive roster. I think the other thing, too, on the business side and really the football side is I just really trust, Gibson, Muhammad, Dom Robinson, Kingsley Jonathan. Those guys are going to continue to do a good job.
There you go. Just like you said.
Those are the four guys. And I had to reverse. It's Kingsley Jonathan is the player's name. So, but yeah, I mean, those are the four guys that are now. And I think those are the young guys. And in terms of Gibson, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a fan of Gibson. I'm not trying to knock him, but I don't think he's played great this year. All right. He's got 2 sacks and they both came in the Packers game, run defense. Remember what the 49ers were doing to them. Remember what the Texans were doing to them. Remember that they were not being able to present a hard contain or hard edge there. In terms of run defense, they were getting washed down. Gibson was part of that problem. So now he's come around. He's done a better job last couple of weeks. I've been paying attention to him in terms of his run defense. But now it's his opportunity to get there and get more consistent playing time. Whatever snaps Quinn was taking away from Gibson, from Robinson, I expect those guys now to get those snaps, obviously, and then we'll see if they can produce there.
Yep, I think it's great. One of the things we can't forget is that Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus talked about playing the young guys. And so these are young guys, and they want to take a look at them. They have no aspirations of winning a Super Bowl this year because they know that the talent level can't match those superior teams. Somebody said in one of the earlier shows today, there was a debate going on between barflies about whether the Bears could make it to the playoffs and Super Bowl. And I forgot who it was. Yeah, I forgot who said, well, wait till you see them play the Buffalo Bills. You'll understand why you shouldn't be having any hopes. But even before then, on Christmas Day.
I love our fans. And I know they're, they feel good about the win about New England, but I remember how we were feeling about this team prior to the New England game. The one positive thing that I take out of the New England game is we saw some creativity from our coaching staff, from our offensive guy. And I think that's something that watching over the tapes and going through some of these clips here is that you'll see that there's opportunities to make plays and, it's continued growth by both the quarterback, the offensive line, the receivers continuing to gel with the quarterback. I think you'll see some more big plays here, but in terms of, got to be realistic, guys, in terms of going to the playoffs or making a run. Someone said making a run to Super Bowl. I mean, that's crazy talk here. You still got to, let's see how they do against Dallas. First of all, let's see what they do against the Eagles and then Miami and then Buffalo, like you said. So this is all about development. This year is all about development, clearing the cap space. They're going to have over 100, if I saw correctly, $125 million in cap space. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go out and spend all of it, but I mean, if you target one or two impact players, whether it's on the offensive line, defensive line, receiver, not much in receivers in terms of free agents, but depth on your line or on your defense and your offensive lines. That's something that you can go ahead and shore up in this offseason in free agency and then attack the skill positions if you want via the draft. So it's going to be an exciting offseason, I think, for a lot of Bears fans. And I think, just the continued growth and the continued development of these young players on this roster, I think is also something that you all should be excited about and just kind of, tune in and week out and see how they do and how they perform.
Indeed. All right. Our main focus tonight is Justin Fields. And before we get started with looking at the tape that you've selected for tonight, I wanted to share this with you. It was posted on The Athletic. These stats were culled together by Adam Johns of The Athletic from Pro Football Reference. And what he did is he compared the development of Justin Fields, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts over their first 17 starts in the National Football League. So you see, and I apologize for how little the type is, but completions are Fields has had much fewer completions and much fewer attempts. The completion percentage, though, is pretty close to Jalen Hurts at 58.9. Fields has 58.1, and Josh Allen only at 56.9. Yards, though, a big advantage for Hurts and Allen over Fields. And you can argue about, the wide receiver firepower that those guys have, unlike Fields. Yards per attempt. Is this an important stat for you, Danny? Yards per attempt?
It could be. It could also be misleading. But what I like to look at this stat is how far down the field is he pushing the football, right?
Gotcha.
And then the fact that he has a higher average than, say, Josh Allen really tells you something there as well.
Okay. And then way at the bottom, you see the sacks. The Fields has taken the sacks. And we all know that this is just not the offensive line's doing. It's also Justin learning to get rid of the ball, something that he's had some problems with, and we'll be talking about tonight.
Yep.
But it is interesting. All of these quarterbacks who are doing very well now had the same kind of growing pains that Justin Fields is demonstrating. So
I wonder, Adam Johns, great writer. I wonder if he's been listening to Bear Football, because that's what myself and John before have been saying, that this is something for those who are throwing in the towel on Justin Fields. With after 3 or 4 weeks, this is something that these two quarterbacks that a lot now people are saying that they're going to probably potentially meet in the Super Bowl. These are what these quarterbacks were going through. And it's a painful process when you're developing a quarterback. And on top of it, you have a roster that's pretty deplete of overall, Pro Bowl blue chip players. So you're developing a quarterback who's going through his, growing pains. And then you have position needs at skill positions at offensive line that are not, up to par to some of the other teams in the NFL. And it gets ugly at times, but that's the only good thing is it's only going to get better from here on, hopefully, assuming that they make the right decisions in terms of free agency and some of the draft picks and all that stuff. So, and the other thing with the 4th round pick, that is something that I believe that they got that back in the Quinn trade because they gave up $7 million to pay for Quinn's salary, because I was surprised they got something that high. Now it is a day 3 pick, but you know what? It's a day 3 pick in the 4th round. That could be an offensive lineman. That could be a defensive end. That could be a linebacker. that could be a player that could be a receiver. That could be a tight end. They could be a player that come in and contribute. So, don't just poo-poo a 4th round pick because it's a day 3 pick.
I personally, I've been complaining at the return on that, because for the Eagles, that's essentially a 5th round pick, because it's going to be the last pick of that round. And so I'm just surprised that Poles could not have, at the very least, maybe flip-flop draft picks. We'll send you a 4th and Quinn and give us a 2nd rounder, or we'll give you a 2nd and Quinn and give us one of your 2 first rounders. Something like that, I think could have perhaps.
That just tells you the market wasn't there for Quinn. It just tells you the market wasn't there. Age, lack of production this year.
Yeah.
I think he just fits in with the Philly system really, really nicely. And I think Poles did a favor by sending him to Philadelphia, because not only does he fit that scheme, I think he's going to be a part of a rotation there. But he's now on a team that a chance to win a Super Bowl. I think there was an article, I might have been Brad Biggs from the Tribune, who had posted an article in which he talked to Quinn, and Quinn said one of his things is he's never been in a playoffs. He's never been on a team that made the playoffs. So and Chris Long was one of his close friends with St. Louis when they were with the Rams together. And then when Chris Long went to New England, got a championship, then eventually went to Philadelphia, got a championship. That's something that him and Chris Long have talked about, that he may have to go on and kind of chase a ring, if you will, for lack of better words. And this is something that I think Poles did a favor, if you will, to Quinn, and gave him on a team that is now undefeated and has a very good chance of playing for the NFC Championship.
There you go. All right, let's get started.
Dig into the tape here. Let's go.
Let's do it. Everyone's waiting for your analysis, and we're going to start with a game from a few weeks ago. Take it away there.
Yeah, so the one thing that we want to go back and say, and this is a play that I picked because this is something that I've been harping on in terms of what I want Justin Fields to do. The first thing, as we go on and run this play here, the motion by St. Brown and the play action to Montgomery does a good job of drawing up the safety 26, Darnell Savage. And that's going to be a theme here with the Bears in play action, drawing up the defenders, right? Giving them opportunities for the receivers to get in that behind that second level, in front of the third level, and that patch of grass there and make plays. And right here, Fields rolls out to his right. The first thing you look at is, all right, Cole Kmet open in the middle of the field, right? But if you take a look at this and you take a look at the game situation, it's 24-10 Packers. It's fourth quarter. It's 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's 1st and 10. Darnell Mooney's got one-on-one coverage on the outside, right? He's got inside leverage, no safety help in the middle. This is a chance. If you connect on this play, could be a home run play, could be a touchdown. At the very least, it's a play where you use a big momentum, shifter. You could, take this play and then move on down and score. And next thing you know, it's a one possession game. And I've been harping, and what I would want to see Fields do is when he has his big play guy like Mooney or Kmet or St. Brown one-on-one on the outside, just throw it up and give him an option. So the decision-making here was good for me. The execution obviously lacked, right? This is where he needs to do a better job of putting air underneath the football, leading Mooney into the middle of the field, and at least giving him a shot. Even if it's underthrown a bit, give him a shot to go up and make a play on the football. As we saw in that play in Minnesota, Mooney can go up and make plays on the football, right? So this is where the execution's got to get better. And one thing that's kind of surprised me is Fields and Mooney have had they've not been able to connect on these deep throws, right? Even this past week, there was a throw down the field where it was overshot Mooney. I think he took a shot for Mooney again, one-on-one versus Washington, and overshot him. So that's something that kind of surprised me, because they've had such a good chemistry and they've worked together in the offseason. That's something's got to get better. His execution's got to get better here. Just, put some more air underneath it, throw it towards more in the middle of the field, lead him there, and allow him to go ahead and make a play on a football. The fact that the ball was overthrown gave no shot for Mooney to make a play on a football. So, but the decision making on this particular play, I liked, because I want that aggressiveness. And again, if it was a 3rd and 4, or if it was a 4th and short, and he goes for that instead of the Kmet throw, then I'm like, all right, we got to kind of think about it. But the fact that it was first down by 2 scores, beginning of the fourth quarter, hey, I got my guy one-on-one. He's got inside leverage. Let me throw it up there and make him play. Unfortunately, again, the execution of the throw wasn't where it should have been.
Okay, that was from the Green Bay game. Let's fast forward to Monday night's game. The first play I got up here is this one right here.
Yeah, it's a 3rd and 4, right? The Bears were 11 for 18 on 3rd down conversions. This is the first quarter. As you see here, the score 0-0, 11:29 left in the game. What I like to see when I'm breaking down Fields is pre-snap. Is he identifying what the defense is doing? Is he reading the defense? Is he painting a picture in terms of what's happening defensively pre-snap? And then post-snap, once they change, once they rotate, is he then adjusting to it, or is he just sticking to what he had the snapshot he had pre-snap, and is he going from there? Here, pre-snap, we see a single high safety, 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. The motion coming across tells me that with the safety following, Komet tells me that they're man-to-man coverage, right? Corners are pressing here. And once he sees man-to-man coverage, he knows the route to the outside. It looks like his first read here as he rolls to his right. His first read is to the outside, whether it's Mooney or whether it's Pettis. He knows with man-to-man coverage and the route that they're going to be running, Mooney should be open on that outside cut, and does a nice job of going here and just kind of leading him. Now, that's a good read. That's a good throw. It's a first down. Again, a 3rd and 4, you convert there for a first down. Now the negatives here, it could be a better throw. Obviously, Mooney had to kind of reach over his frame to make the catch, stop his momentum. If you throw a nice throw, kind of lead him, it might be an even bigger gainer. But in terms of reading the defense, knowing what they're doing, and then executing on a 3rd down to keep the drive moving, this is what I like seeing. This is something that Justin's gotten better at here. Again, his first read was Mooney to the outside, it looks like. And if you take a look, even if Mooney and Pettis, if we go from the other angle, the end zone angle, even if Mooney and Pettis were not open, you see St. Brown coming across there from the backside wide open as well. So nice design here, giving Justin just a half field read here, and him knowing the defensive coverage initially and not knowing what's going to come open. He was able to kind of look for it, make the accurate throw, convert a first down on 3rd down, and continue the drive going forward.
All right, on that same drive, here's the second play we've got.
Yeah, here the Patriots look like they're in off man coverage. Again, play action. Look what the play action does, guys. I've been harping on this all along. Is even if you average 3.2 yards a carry or 3 yards a carry, you got to be running the football. You got to commit to running the football. Look at the play action, sucks up the second level of defense. Both linebackers are now flowing to the right and are sucked up now. What that does is that allows then the St. Brown to come from underneath and work in between that green area there between the second and third levels of the defense. Nice job of Justin going ahead and rolling out, flipping his hips, right? Flipping his hips, making a nice accurate throw. And this is something that you and I talked about, Aldo, versus the Giants, where there was a similar play. I'm not sure if it was the same formation or not, but he came out, rolled out, and there was Cole Kmet in the flat, and he didn't pull a trigger for whatever reason. He stared him down. He didn't pull a trigger. But here he comes out again, does a nice job with his hips, his lower body, getting his lower body in position as he flips him to make a nice accurate throw. Hits St. Brown in motion, in motion, leads him out there. I think it's a 19-yard gain, first down. So that's something that's an improvement that we saw him make now, making those throws as opposed to the New York game where for whatever reason he just didn't pull the trigger. And the other thing I want to highlight here is the play action. This is how important play action is for this offense. If you're a heavy run-based team, you play action, you suck up that linebacker, that second level, it gives you so much room, so much space for your receivers and tight ends to go work back there. And all you got to do now is just give your quarterback some time to make that throw.
One of the things I noticed, Danny, about this play is that earlier in the season on these rollout plays, it didn't appear to me, maybe I'm wrong, that they had a designated blocker for that outside edge guy, because when Fields was going out on his rollouts, it seemed like the opposing team would have somebody stationed there saying, okay, you want to roll out? Come to me. On this play, notice how Cole Kmet picks up that person, knocks him on his ass, or was there to block him. Let me see.
He was there just to make sure he had plenty of time to go ahead and execute that throw. Correct.
There you go. So from a schematic point, I think that Luke Getsy has read what opposing defensive coordinators are doing and helping out Justin Fields to aid in the protection.
Fields himself said that they took a look during this little money bye week between the Washington game and this past New England game, that they took a look at what the Ravens were doing with Lamar Jackson, and they kind of took a look at that and took a lot of their concepts and kind of incorporated here. And I think we'll see a lot of that here with the quarterback draw and quarterback power.
Mm-hmm. Very smart, particularly since the Patriots and the Ravens played earlier this season, and Lamar Jackson had over 100 yards rushing. So good playbook to steal from. All right, this is play number 3 on your call sheet there, Mr. Shimon.
Yep. Again, 3rd down and 6, right? They're 11 for 18 in this game in 3rd down, first quarter. And here it looks like they're in a single high safety look here, but then when the ball is snapped, the safety is going to drop back. Right away, you'll see the tackles, both Borum and Braxton Jones, get pushed back into Fields. Fields does a nice job of getting away, escaping the rush there, and then keeping his eyes downfield. This is what I saw when I scouted him at Ohio State. He would escape pressure, use his athletic ability, buy some time, keep his eyes downfield, and find a receiver. Another thing here by St. Brown, kudos to him. He saw his quarterback, rolling out, running away from pressure. He just kept running towards his quarterback, making sure he makes himself available for the quarterback as an escape valve, in terms of getting the ball downfield. So again, Fields keeping himself, calm there, getting out of there, looking downfield, keeping his eyes downfield. The one thing here is, he could have easily, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, he might just tucked it and ran for 3 or 4 yards and moved on to the next play. But remember, it was 3rd and 6. Does a great job here, keeping his eyes downfield, maintaining that poise that we've accustomed to seeing now with Justin, and making a nice solid throw on the run, hitting St. Brown in basically in the middle of the 1 and the 9, and converting again a big 3rd down here.
I got to tell you, man, this guy is so exciting to watch when he does all of those technical things correct. As you point out, him keeping his eyes downfield, because he's such a threat to run. He's going to suck in those defenders to him and create space for these wide receivers. And it also seemed like there was a much more concerted effort this past week to get the ball to EQ, which I really like, because he's, the biggest target you have outside of the tight ends.
Right, and that's something I do touch on here as well, is that the rapport between him and EQ is coming. It's developing. It was a little slow developing for my liking, but EQ is a guy, if given a shot here, I think can make some plays. He's a guy, big body, very good, blocking receiver in terms of at the line of scrimmage and all that stuff. But yeah, just give him a shot, give him an opportunity. Big long arms, big catch radius. This is a guy, again, you have him one-on-one on the outside. If you see him going striking down the field, I just throw the ball up to him and see if he can go up there and make a play as well. So, but yeah, that rapport between him and EQ is developing. I think the rapport, obviously, between him and Mooney is developing nicely there, except for those deep balls. We got to get that fixed there. And Pettis, I think Dante Pettis is really someone kind of under the radar, has really had a solid season. He's a guy that gives you that deep speed, but also has some savvy route running ability. His ability to release off the line of scrimmage, beat the press is pretty impressive. And if they can get him going in the passing game, that'll give you 3 options. Then you had Komet, and then you had the running attack, and plus the threat with Justin Fields. And now you have an offense that can consistently, create problems for opposing defenses. And
did you mention N'Keal Harry?
I have not mentioned him so far, but he's going to be there's a play here that Justin finds him here. I believe this might be the next play here that we highlight.
What do we got? Number 4 now?
Yeah, this is what I wanted to show is what Justin Fields looks like when he has pass protection, guys. All right. So here you can see Fields will go through a progression here. And this is what we saw. This is what I saw at Ohio State, right? This is why I saw him back there looking. And I believe this is N'Keal Harry here as he finds him, probably his 3rd option here, right? So if you take a look from the end zone view, it's even better. You'll take a look.
Sorry.
That's okay, no problem. So what happens is he's looking. His first read is to the outside, to his right. Goes away from that, comes back left. It looks like it might be Cole Kmet, and then doesn't go there. And then what happens is he sees N'Keal Harry coming clear in the middle of the field, and he's ready to go. Bam, throws a nice, accurate throw. What have we been seeing here, guys? We're seeing accurate throws on the receivers, right? That Mooney, for the first throw for Mooney, it was a bit high, but still, it was a catchable ball. Mooney made the play. The other thing I want to see if we can go back to that end zone angle there, Aldo. Look at his feet. His feet are calm in the pocket, right? He's getting his lower body in position here to make a throw. Goes back, looks, nope, not there. Goes here, nope, and bam, ready to go. Doesn't have to do anything else with his feet. And the feet are already in position to make a throw. Nice, accurate throw. Again, what was the key there? Nice, clean pocket. It was probably the best pocket he had all night, most likely, right? Then again, you give this kid some protection. He feels confident back there. He'll go through his progression. He'll make a nice, accurate throw. This is something that I want to see consistently. But obviously, once we fix the offensive line and get that to become a consistent unit, then we're going to start seeing more and more of these plays. And then that's something that excites me as a fan and as a scout too.
Danny, regarding his feet, it seems to me like sometimes he's got happy feet, and then sometimes he's flat-footed, and then sometimes he looks like Mikhail Baryshnikov, like he did there, like he was floating on air with those soft feet and so forth. Do you move your feet sometimes for certain things, or is that just an inconsistency that he has to cure?
Well, when you're in a pocket and you're staying in a pocket, and that's a play that's supposed to come off from the pocket or the pass, that's the way you're supposed to look with those feet. Nice, calm feet. Get yourself in position. Go here. Get your lower body in a position where you're not wasting additional time. Once you find your receiver, bam, the ball's coming out of your hands. It's going downfield. So that's what it's supposed to look like. What I think is happening, or has been happening, is he's been hit so much. We talked about the sacks, but guys, don't forget that the pressures, the hurries, the hits that were not sacks, right? I think he's just at times he just goes one read, looks away, and next thing you know is like, all right, where's pressure coming from? Even if there's no pressure there, he's looking to see where pressure is coming from. Now that throws everything off of whack. It throws his feet off of whack, throws his lower body off of whack. Now he's got to recoil, get himself back into position, throwing position, and now that the pass rush is getting to him, now he's escaping and running away. I think this is all a combination of what was happening to him, in my opinion, from just to watching him play. Because when you see him there, you see him where he has the time, the ability to go through a progression. People will tell me that, oh, he's a one-read quarterback. We just saw right there, he's not a one-read quarterback. He went through one read, second read, and as he was looking at second read, he saw N'Keal Harry come across, bam, nice clean throw. Like I said, clean lower half, was ready to get that ball out of there, hit the receiver in stride. Another big play there. So that's what I wanted to point out is this guy can and will go through a progression. Just give him some time.
So I think you've answered J2K's question here. He was asking about how do you feel about the narrative that Fields can't read the field? What's your opinion on that?
I just showed you something here, J2K, is that when you give him time, he can go through a progression from the pocket. Now, what they've done here is once they've gone ahead and try and simplify this offense for him, is you see a lot of rollouts. You see a lot of action where it makes it easier for him. You've got half reads. That first play to second play to Mooney there, it was a half read roll. He had one read, one option there was Mooney. Probably the second one was Pettis, unless Pettis was designed to go ahead and just kind of set that, if you will, pick or take that corner or defender upfield with a clear route there. But and then you have in the backside, you have St. Brown coming there as well. So they're all coming to that one side of the football field. So it's a half field read. So that's how they simplify this for these quarterbacks. That's what Nagy tried to do with Trubisky. As a matter of fact, when Trubisky was struggling with going back to those a couple of years ago, when he was struggling we're reading coverages and doing anything post snap, and then they changed the offensive play caller. They made a lot of half field reads. They cut things down in half to kind of simplify things for these quarterbacks. So you're seeing that with Justin here as well. It's just kind of, I think that's more a byproduct of not him having protection and him maybe getting a little antsy back there, trying to make things simpler, trying to make things quicker for him, get the ball out of his hands. But then again, we just saw here, when you give him protection, when you give him time, the kid will go through his reads.
Very good. All right, let's move on to play number 5.
All right, so this is I think this is the first quarterback draw option run, I believe, and this is a real cool design, guys. Here, look at this. So the Pats here are overloaded to the right side here, right, and then that's exactly where the guard Jenkins and Bourne are going to come in and counter pull to the opposite side and be lead blockers for Fields. And what I like to hear about is the motion of Velus Jones coming in motion, and with David Montgomery releasing to that right, both going to that right side, that just freezes the defenders, allowing those two guys from the right side, Borum and Jenkins, to pull around to do the counter block and giving him protectors really through the line of scrimmage. I believe it was an 8 or 9 yard gain here. So I think this is the first time we saw this power run here. And again, Justin, good choice. Sliding. I still wish he'd work on his slides. I still get a little antsy and scared when I see him slide. For a kid who played baseball when he was in high school, I'm not sure why he can't slide, but his slides scare the hell out of me. So, but just get down. Don't take any hits, unnecessary hits. But again, nice design. You got the defense kind of flowing to your right there. With Velus Jones coming, David Montgomery releases out. They're thinking, oh, let's post coming this way. And what happens? Then they don't even notice the two guards, or the guard and the tackle from the right side, pulling over to the left side. And Justin just goes right up behind them there for what, 8 or 9 yard gain. Nice design here.
Yeah, nice blocking by Kokomet there too. One of the things about the 12 designed plays, that run plays that were called for Fields, is that I don't think in any of them he was hit really, really hard. That might have been the hardest one that he was hit. Now, there were a couple of hard hits on him that I feel like Matt Eberflus should complain to the NFL office. No flags were thrown. Was the one that he ran out of bounds and he was clearly pushed when he was already had both feet out of bounds. And then the sandwich play, which Fields immediately got up and complained to the official. And he said, the reporters asked him, what did you say to the officials? Were they just checking in to see if you were okay? And he goes, yeah, that's what they were doing, checking in to see if I was okay. And I'm saying, I want a penalty. So
if that was Tom Brady, those two guys would be thrown out of the game.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that, you got to earn the call from officials. Call it while you see it. If it's a ball or a strike, don't worry about who's hitting, who's pitching. Same thing with football. It aggravates the heck out of me.
Yeah, it's something that it's unfortunate, but it just feels like with these athletic mobile quarterbacks, the defender are allowed to take, bigger shots on them than the other quarterbacks. And the guys who are more stationary in the pocket, right? Like Brady, Rodgers, those guys, they get, breathed on or sneezed on. There's a penalty coming out, but, Fields, I even seen Jalen Hurts take some hits as well. Tannehill from the Titans, he's also a mobile quarterback. These guys that are mobile, they tend to get hit a lot, and we don't see as many penalties or flags thrown on those guys.
Yeah, I got to believe that's going to change because we're going to see more and more mobile quarterbacks, and the league has to protect them just like they do the pocket passers and the veteran quarterbacks. All right, we're moving on to play number 6.
Yep, this I believe is the touchdown here.
Yes,
the quarterback power, quarterback draw. The one thing, again, nice cool design here by Getsy. Velus Jones, again, coming in motion. Jones didn't touch the stat sheet, but his presence on the field, because of that speed, his ability to be a ball carrier, possibly as a jet sweeper, kind of freezes the defenders. And the one thing I want to focus on is the offensive line with some good blocking here. So first of all, is Schofield, the veteran, does a nice job here of reach blocking that defensive end Wise and sealing him into the inside. Take a look at the receivers here, and St. Brown and Mooney pinning the linebacker there inside. And then for all the Sam Mustipher haters, take a look at what Mustipher does to number 21 there. He just absolutely buries him. Right, buries him
literally.
Look
at that.
No, I wanted to point that out there for all the Sam Mustipher haters. But
thank you.
I know you would like that one, Aldo. But again, just nice design here, drawing the attention of the defenders with the motion of Velus Jones and his speed. Nice blocking here. We talked about St. Brown being a good blocker in terms of receiver. He got buried there, but that's something that's neither here or there. Braxton Jones unfortunately misses his first block, which if he gets a clean block, I think Justin might walks in untouched into the end zone here. But he whips on that first block, gets his second level block. But anyway, Justin is bigger and strong enough to be able to go ahead and muscle his way into the end zone. So this was this is where I said, all right, these guys have added this wrinkle of quarterback draw, quarterback power into the offense. And I think this is where. And then we saw it obviously then just kind of, expand and carry on throughout the game too.
Mm-hmm. At this point of the game, then as I'm watching, I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, the play calling in this game is outstanding.
Yep.
Outstanding. And as the game went on, I thought I was just more and more impressed with how Luke Getsy called this game.
The design too was great. And again, I know they dove into the Ravens playbook, but I don't think they brought on the Ravens offensive coordinator as their new offensive coordinator. I mean, they really took a lot of this stuff that from the Ravens, and I know they incorporated some of their stuff too, but because I know they use a lot of motion and all that stuff. But the fact that they brought that in within 11-day stretch, kind of when Eberflus went up there after the Washington game, said they were going to look into the scheme and look into how they're utilizing players. I mean, we thought it was just coach speak, right? But he was actually he was legit. He was serious, and they actually did that, and it was impressive. Now, what you can do now is what's exciting is you can build off of that, right? You can build up, and I think I told you, although I'm like I foresee whether it's against Philadelphia or it's against Dallas versus an aggressive defense, I can foresee them running the same kind of scheme, having the two guards, a guard and center or a guard and tackle pull, and everybody thinks, oh my God, Justin Fields is going to run, and watch him just stop and pull up because all the defensive guys are going to converge onto him. Watch him just stop, pull up, and just lob the ball right over the top of the defense for a nice big gainer or possibly even a touchdown. That's going to happen. I bet you in before the season ends, we're going to see one of those plays like that.
Let's all visualize it together, everybody. So all Bears fans. All right, we're moving on to play number 7.
Yeah, again, this is again, I just want to point out here is the post snap. See what happens to the linebackers. Again, play action, fake handoffs, and this is why if you establish the run, you're going to get a lot of open opportunity here. The first step by the linebacker is downhill, right? Downhill. Next thing you know is the ball is not in the running back's hands. Now he's retrieving. Now he's in retrieve mode. And what happens? Darnell Mooney is snuck in there nice and neatly, and Fields finds him with a throw. Now here is where I had some issues with Fields' timing, right? His clock, his speed clock. If you go here, maybe if you stop it right there. Right there, that ball should be on its way to Darnell Mooney, right? That should be headed. He should lead him away. There is no safety in the middle of the field. There is no linebacker that's going to clock him, right? So he doesn't have to wait for a defender to go ahead and clear out and make sure Darnell is safe. At that point, that ball should be out. It should be outside the hash mark, in between the hash and the numbers. He should lead Darnell Mooney. And if he hits him in stride, guys, this is a huge gainer right now, right? Because that defender out there is retrieving. He's turning all around. We got a safety taking a poor angle. But what happens is he's late. He's late in getting that ball downfield to Mooney, allowing the defender to catch up now from the backside and make a play on a football. So this is a play that Fields, I put down as a bad throw. This is where he's got to speed up his play clock, right? And again, he just hits that clock, throws that ball a little bit sooner, and that's a big gainer. So what? It's like a tenth of a second or a second, if you will, Aldo. And that's that goes from an incompletion to a huge gain. That's how close these games are, or this ability to kind of open up this offense is. And again, this is what he has to work on. There's times where Justin is becoming what I say, see it and throw it, right? Some of what Jay Cutler was. Jay Cutler was notorious for a guy who had to see his receiver open and then throw. But Cutler had a big arm, and he was confident and cocky in his arm, and he felt like he could rifle it in between 2 or 3 defenders, get it to his receiver. Justin's got a strong arm, but Justin also is in an offense right now. It's a timing-based rhythm offense. If you're a split second late, it's a difference between a 25-yard completion or an incompletion. So that's why right there, that ball should be out. There's no defender in the way. He should kind of envision that happening and throwing the ball and hitting Mooney in stride, as opposed to waiting for Mooney to kind of fully clear that area, and which then allowed the defender. First, Mooney got to slow down. Now the defender's has the ability to catch up, makes a play on the football.
What do you think about what my man Tony says? Mooney should have flattened the route, that he's drifting a little bit.
Mooney could have flattened the route. That's fine, but it's still, Justin has to release that ball, like I said, right about here, right? Because typically you hold on to the football because there's a safety or a defender drifting in the area. If you throw the ball in the area, you might get your guy hit or knocked out. So you typically hold on to a little bit longer than you can or need to. But here, there's no one in that flat area. The defender's running with the receiver up the field. The safety's kind of leaning towards giving over the top help there as well. So there's like a shell coverage going on that side. So there's absolutely no one in there. Look, all that green patchy area there. You just throw him open. You just throw him, lead him, and that is a big time completion there, a big time play. But again, that split second being just late, just wanting to wait a little bit longer than he needed to, caused that to be an incompletion.
All right, excellent analysis. Let's move on to our next play. I have this one as number 8 on our call sheet.
This is another one where his play clock, to me, it's not there yet. It's still a work in progress. Here, there's a fake handoff, right? He rolls to his right, and Mooney's open right away in the flat. He's got to throw that ball. He's got to throw the ball to Mooney right away in the flat. He doesn't pull the trigger. He ends up holding onto the ball. And then doesn't get anything and then loses, I think, 2 yards there or loses the first down. Doesn't get the first down. I think this was a 2nd and 5 here. When he's open in the flat, he's got to throw that ball. He's got to throw that ball. I think we got a better angle on the other side, but he cannot hold on to the football here. He's got to get rid of that football and get the ball into the hands of his playmakers. Again, this is where I feel like his play clock is a little not there yet. It's still developing.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right. Yeah, and then he tries to make something out of nothing. As the announcer said, he's so athletic and such a competitor. Well, he should have just either, if he didn't see Mooney in the flat there, he should have just thrown it away. There were a couple of times where he should have done that.
Right. And that's the thing is like now he holds on to it. Now it's too late. And now he's trying to make things happen with his athletic ability, which he's capable of doing. This is what he was doing at Ohio State, right? He was doing that all the time at Ohio State. But the thing is, you can't do it here in the NFL on a consistent basis. You have tremendous athletes chasing you. You have All-Americans blocking for you at Ohio State. You're not here in NFL. You have athletes coming after you defensively. You don't have an All-Americans blocking for you now. So when you have an opportunity to get rid of that football, that's why this offense is just so based on timing and rhythm and getting that ball out of your hands quickly into the playmaker's hands. And there are times where there's nobody open, right? There's nobody open downfield. He's got to buy some time and give his receiver a time to either come back to him or maybe just wiggle free from the defender. Fine, you can do that here and there. But when it's 2nd and 5 and you have opportunity to hit your guy and possibly pick up a first down, what you end up doing is holding on to the football, getting sacked and subsequently fumbling it, but fumbling it out of bounds.
Yep. All right, we're going on to play number 14, which is late in the second half, and the Bears are matriculating the ball downfield, trying to take the lead that they have lost after the Patriots scored 2 weird touchdowns, in my opinion, but nonetheless, we're talking Fields here. Take it away, brother.
You know what? I'm sorry. My notes from this one was this is the play for Mooney. This is where Mooney's opening the flat. Okay. Does that okay? So this my notes got all mixed up, but this is play 14. You're right. So this is where again fake handoff rolls to the right, bam, right there. There's Mooney. See Mooney right there on the top of on the flat right there, wide open, right? So this is a 2nd and 5. This is what I was referring to. My apologies, guys. I was one step ahead in terms of the my notes and in terms of the clips, but this is where Mooney is open here. He's got to pull the trigger right there, bam, throw the ball. He doesn't. He holds on to the football and then this is where he ends up getting running out. Away from Judon, but instead of getting a first down here, he gets like a 1 or 2 yard gain. And I don't know if this is the one you're talking about where he gets pushed out of bounds, but instead of being a first down, it's 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4 now. So again, right here, bam, he's got to pull the trigger. Mooney's open in the flat, and then for whatever reason, he doesn't pull the trigger, and now it's too late, and now he just has to eat the football and run out of bounds and take an unnecessary hit. Yeah.
In fact, this was the one. You're right. This was the one where he gets pushed out of bounds. You'll see it right. Right there's the push. Look how far he's out of bounds.
Yep, gets pushed out, and obviously no penalty. But again, if he gets rid of that football at first sight, when he first sees Mooney in that flat, that's probably J2K. That probably is his first read. I would think that probably is his first read because it's a quick hitting play. It's 2nd and 5. He's looking at him. He's looking right at him. So that tells me that is his first read. Now he goes off of him, right? I'm not sure why he goes off of him. And now when he goes off him, now he's got Judon in his face. So that's the thing is like, if you don't hit your first read, you don't have an offensive line that can give you the extra 4 or 5 seconds you need. So now he's off his first read. He doesn't throw it. Now he's looking for somebody else. And now Judon is in his face. And now he's got to scramble and pick up 1 or 2 yards and get pushed out when, possibly get hurt, God forbid. But again, all could have been avoided if he just saw Mooney, bam. He did see him because I know he's looking at him. So just hit him in stride, get Mooney the ball. He gets a first down, and everything else is avoided.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And he does have N'Keal Harry open over the field. Is he looking at Harry right there?
No, I think after he knows he missed Mooney, now he's trying to look for another option. And at that point, when he's looking for another option, now he's got Matt Judon on his face. And he's like, all right, now I got to try and juke him. And that's where once he does that, he doesn't even look downfield anymore. I think he just kind of puts his eyes down, just tries to get in survival mode and try and pick up whatever he can. So that's the thing is that he misses his first option there, Mooney. Then he's trying to find somebody else because he didn't pull the trigger. And now pressure's in his face. Now he's got to drop his eyes. Now he's got to run away from the defender and get whatever he can get. That's the things that we were seeing the first few weeks. And that's some of the things that we thought, we kind of gone all over, or gone over with the Minnesota game and some a little bit with the Washington game. But we saw some of that also in the Washington game as well. There was another play that we don't have here, but there was, I believe it was early in the first quarter. I think it was the first sack the Commanders got on the Bears. And Mooney had one-on-one coverage. Again, open field. There was no safety in the middle of the field. He had an inside slant. It wasn't a huge window, but Mooney had inside leverage. There was a target you could throw to. You can kind of lead him in the middle of the field. There was no safety there. And he didn't pull the trigger. He didn't pull the trigger again, held on to the football, and got sacked. So those are the things where he's got to get better at that. And that for me is his timing and his play clock. Once he gets those, and it's going to be, and like I said, you guys all know I'm the biggest Justin Fields fan probably here. I have so much faith in this guy. He's going to get better. And I've seen it get better, but it's not consistent. Once they get consistent, and that's probably maybe what happens when you have better weapons around them, possibly when you have a better offensive line, that's when you're going to see this take off. But you're seeing spurts in his ability to be able to go through these progressions, make these throws. It's just that he's looking at the guy. It's not like he's missing him. He's actually staring down the guy. Same thing with the New York game. The New York game that you and I looked at with the Cole Kmet, open in the flat, no one around him. He's looking at him, but he just wasn't pulling the trigger. And that's why I'm thinking, like, all right, I know they've been working on his mechanics and his feet and all that stuff. Now, is he thinking now, all right, are my feet straight? If my feet are not straight, could this ball sail on me? Could this be an interception? You don't want him thinking like that. You want him just kind of playing and reacting. And there's times where he just does that. And there's times where like this in the New York game, and then also the Washington game, where there's a guy open, he just doesn't pull a trigger, and he's looking at him.
Yep. Yeah, I think they're also preconditioned. Don't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. And I think that might have an impact on it too. But you're absolutely right. They've had him change so many things with his mechanics and so forth. It's difficult to change muscle memory. So a lot of people are saying that they agree with you. Let's see Justin in a year or two. And I agree with that. He's going to get better and better. That's pretty obvious to me.
We're seeing him get better, right?
Yeah, right.
It's not consistent. It's not every single drop back, not every single read, not every single time. But it's just seeing him slowly but surely. And like I said, this past couple weeks actually, just breaking down, the film and the design and the scheme, especially this past game against New England. I'm excited in terms of what they could do to build off of last week's game plan.
Mm-hmm. All right. And now this next play is the very next play in this series.
So this is I have here is what, let me take a look. I have play 16.
This is where he runs to the left sideline on 3rd and 5. Do you have, let's see, number 16 is
I have this the touchdown swing pass to Herbert.
All right.
This is where he gets crushed, I believe.
Okay,
no, actually, you know what? That's not the one I have. You're right. This is not the one I have.
Let me. I may have made a mistake in the log. All right. Well, let's see what we got
there.
Oh, here we come.
So it's 35.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the quarterback keeper.
All right. Another pre-planned.
I think we touched on the quarterback run a couple of times, so that's why I didn't put this one in there. But basically. Again, just quarterback keeper, again, offensive line. This is what Braxton Jones excites me about Braxton Jones. Yeah, yes. Does he get beat at times? Does he get bulldozed back into the quarterback? Yes, but look at the athletic ability for this guy. He's 6'6", 6'5", 300+ pounds. Look at him run out there like a linebacker and get these guys. And that's why I'm not giving up on Braxton Jones, guys. I am not. And then once this guy gets a full off season in the weight room, gets stronger, builds that core, and able to anchor down. This is a left tackle for me. At worst, he's a damn good left guard. So as I'm saying, like, I'm not giving up Braxton Jones. I know all these PFF grades are coming on, and they're knocking him as one of the worst, pressures and all that stuff. But you know what? Some of the times those pressures are warranted. He does give up pressures, but he's also getting better. There's times I see him going up one-on-one against Bosa and being able to block him. There's times where I see him go up against other guys from the Giants like Thibodeau and block him. There's times that he gets run over too. So it's a rookie. He's also a guy that's getting better and progressing, but just the athletic ability to be able to get out there. And I think again here, look at St. Brown being able to take on that receiver. Well, actually, that was not that good of a block, but generally St. Brown does a good job, especially on those pin down blocks where he comes off from the outside, kind of like Cooper Kupp does for the Rams. Those pin down blocks, he's pretty impressive. Here he had to go outside, but loses contain on his guy, who actually tries to make the tackle there, but misses. But again, Justin Fields, another design run where he kind of takes it, goes out to the outside with the blocker. There's another one that I don't think we put in this clip, at least I didn't, but this is where they brought Cole Kmet in motion, and Kmet was his lead blocker as he kind of held the ball and run as well. So the different ways of being able to get the ball outside that rush lane and being able to use his athletic ability as a runner too. So that's all the things that they put in this offense this past week that again excites me.
Yeah. What do you think about Schofield's blocking here, the left guard, the new left guard?
Yeah, Schofield had a solid game in my opinion. Gets out here again, does a good job. Is it a perfect block? No, but again, I guard out. All I grade on my offensive lineman is, are they in position? Are they impeding the defensive lineman from making a football play? And here, Schofield does a good job of getting his hands on the defender, running laterally and being able to kind of keep himself from the defender and the ball carrier. So to me, this is a positive play. I think Schofield had a solid game this first his first start here. There was a play I believe I have in this package here where him and Jones get mixed up on a who picks up the defender coming in. So we'll take a look at that later on. But other than that, nothing really sticks out to me in terms of what Schofield did bad.
All right. So the next one you got on your list, is it 17?
Next one is 16 on my list.
All right, let's see what I got for 16 here. 1st and 10 with 1:54 to go.
Yep, this is what I got. And this is the one he gets crushed on. This is where, and this is what I said post-game. I said before here, I don't think they do a good job here in the clips, but he yells, alert, alert, alert at the line of scrimmage. And that tells me that he identifies that the Patriots are going to bring an extra defender here, and they're going to come in here with 6 guys. And he only got 5 guys, so he knows he's got to get rid of that football. So he calls alert, 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 and then what he does is the pump fake to get Dietrich Wise in the air, and then again his sidearm ability to get rid of that football sidearm as he's getting crushed by 2 defenders. This is something that I pointed out, if you remember when I was scouting him, Aldo, was his baseball background. He played shortstop at baseball, his ability to turn a double play. He's got the ability to get rid of that ball from different angles. And he's done it before in these games. This was evident, obviously, here as he's getting crushed by 2 guys. Still has enough ability to get that ball to Justin Herbert. And again, guys, who's out there leading for Herbert? Running down the field.
Mr. Braxton Jones.
Braxton Jones. Look at him. He just buries Jalen Mills there. And get out of my way, like a little ant there. But again, just overall, I like the fact that he saw, pre-snap what they're going to do. They're going to bring an extra defender. He knew how to get rid of the football quickly. He called alert, alert at the line of scrimmage, and then the ability to kind of, use his different sidearm, the angle there, get the football out. And then Braxton Jones getting out there, using the athletic ability to bury Jalen Mills, the safety, and then clearing the path for an easy touchdown there for Khalil Herbert. That was the score, which they came back. Remember, I said that was for me, was a big momentum shift in the game because the Patriots had just taken the lead 14-10 off of that tip ball interception. And now it's like, all right, how is this team going to respond? Teams in the past, they might have just folded a tent and that'd have been it. That'd have been a good night. But they just drove back down the field and then they got that big score right before the half. That to me was a big character builder. And I said, this team, they're fighting, right? They're not going to just give up. They're going to be here, throughout the whole game, and eventually ended up blowing up the game up.
Yeah, anybody that's seen this Bears team, and has been a Bears fan for a long time, when the Patriots put those 14 points up in the second quarter and went ahead 14-10, and you're thinking, oh man, this is just awful. We get off to a 10-0 lead, should have been 14-0. Now here we are trailing. And that drive was so fantastic. And which one do you have next? Do you have the play in the
17.
second half?
I have 17 next.
So if I remember correctly, this one is the Bears have gotten the ball back after the turnover, right?
Yeah, it's a second and 6, second quarter, 119. Yep, this is it. And this is, to me, is a sack that's on Justin Fields. This is a sack that goes against the offensive line, but this would be on Justin Fields. All right. So 2nd and 6, 119. This is after they got the ball back. Right there. If we can go back and take a look at it right there. Right there, St. Brown is open on that slant route. And he's looking at him. Again, right there. Give him a little time right here. Bam. That ball, he's got clean pocket, no one around him. That ball should be out. He's looking right down at St. Brown. Not sure, why he didn't pull the trigger there. But and then it goes down as a sack here. So again, first read doesn't pull it, and now Judon's in his face, and it's a sack. That to me is a sack on Justin Fields. This is where his play clock's got to speed up. And again, just like we talked about earlier, he's looking at the guy. But he just doesn't pull a trigger. Whatever the reason is, I don't know. I'm just guessing, what it could be. But he doesn't want to turn the ball over. Right, like you said, maybe they're in his head, and it's just he feels like it's a little too congested. But there, to me, St. Brown was open on that slant route. That's an easy pitch and catch, and I'm not sure why he doesn't pull the trigger.
Yep, I'm disappointed in him on this play, but the very next play they called one of those designed run plays, and he gets the team back those yards.
Right.
And I'm working off. Remember, you've got number 22 coming up next.
I got number 220 coming. Yep.
All right, but hold on. Let me show the very next play. This is the very next play. You didn't choose it, but this is, if I remember correctly, this is a designed run that Luke gets. He says, "Okay, let's get these yards back."
Actually, yeah, no, this is actually
no.
a drop back. No,
Yes,
this is him. This is him doing what he does best, right? This is him improvising, and this is something that I've been harping on. Like, this guy gives you this added dimension. This is why last year when they're talking about starting Dalton or Fields, I'm like, I know Fields is not ready, but he gives you this option, and you have an offense that was pathetic. At least he gives you something like this where everything's breaking down around him. 3rd and 14. This is a backbreaker, guys, for defensive players. This is something that when they have 3rd and 14, they're counting on getting off the football field. And when he does this is what then you see guys put their heads down. You see guys then say, "Oh crap, we can't contain this guy." Now you see doubt creeping in the defenders, back of their minds, and then next thing you know, it's like now you got some momentum on your side. So, but again, and then here they're playing. It looks like some zone here. So what surprised me is for me, every time I see a team playing man, if I'm Justin Fields, if they're playing man and I don't see anybody open, I'm just taking off with the football because they got the defenders are downfield. They got their backs to them. Here it looks like they got some defenders here with their eyes into the backfield. And I believe it might have been after here where Belichick started aligning Jabril Peppers, the former Michigan safety, as a spy. Just lining up behind the line of scrimmage and just letting him sit there and look at Justin Fields and see if he's escaping the pocket or doing anything and just spying on Justin Fields. So, this right here was a huge momentum shift here. As I said, 3rd and 14. I believe this was right after that sack I just showed you, the Judon sack. He comes back and does this and gets a 1st down. So huge play there.
And then life with a young Justin Fields, it doesn't always go well. Again, another mistake on his part. This is the fumble play right after that last play.
Yeah, and this is something he's got to work on is ball security. The official count was, and I was a little surprised, but there was 4 fumbles credited to Justin Fields. None were lost, but he fumbled the ball. He put the ball on the ground 4 times. Now I know it was foggy. The ball might have been a little slick, a little wet, but still, he had these problems last year. In the pocket, he's got to secure the ball and he's got to make sure that ball is innocent, especially if he's going to be running with the football, as a threat as well. So this is play 22, which I drew it up here. Drops back. It looks like the Patriots are going to cover 3. Oh, actually, no. This is
I'm sorry. It's my fault. I went out of order because I wanted to point out that so he has those 2 turnovers on this final drive. The Bears have taken the lead. The defense turns the ball over. He has these 2 turnovers. The Bears have a great chance to add some points before they go into the half, and they get the ball again, but he has those turnovers. But then this is the play that was a pre-designed run, and he gets out of that to get this team back in. If I remember correctly, yes. This is the fumble. This is the fumble. Okay, so hold on. So that one was 20. So this one should be this one. Yeah, it's 19 seconds left. And so this is a pre-designed play. It's a quarterback draw, and he's got those skills, and he gets Cairo Santos a better opportunity to nail that field goal.
Right. And I think if I'm not mistaken, this is right before the half. I think there's another play there that I didn't put in here, but that was there was a throw to Mooney to the sidelines there where he kind of just bought some time and saw Mooney kind of come across there at that right hash or right sideline and does a nice throw on a run there. And that's why I was surprised. I commented, said, all right, this staff is giving him a shot here to go ahead and maybe score a touchdown right before half, not playing it conservative, not just taking in, handing it off and just, playing for the field goal. They actually gave him a shot. But then what happened was because he had to buy some time. By the time that the play was over, there's only 3 seconds left in the half, and they end up going with the field goal anyway. So yeah, I mean, there are a couple plays where he makes up for it. And again, that's to your point, Aldo, is you're going to see things like this. You're going to see plays where, he makes critical mistakes where, he doesn't get rid of the ball to St. Brown for an easy 1st down, takes a sack, but then he comes back the next play on 3rd and 14, makes up for it and gets a first down. And then, previous next 2 plays there does things where he's running with the ball, with his feet, and then all of a sudden makes a nice play where he buys time in the pocket, finds Mooney, gets closer. The unfortunate part was there was only 3 seconds left in the half, and they go for the field goal anyway. So, but that's the things you have to learn to live and to die with the young quarterback, and as they progress. So that's the thing is like you don't want. I'm seeing, at least, and I think you guys are agreeing with me, is we're seeing the development, we're seeing the improvements. It's just the consistency, right? It's not, why is he not pulling the trigger on some of those easy throws? Why is clock sometimes it's not speeding up in terms of what it needs to be? But then there's other times where he's right on it, or he's on it, he reads it, he throws it, rips it, and there's just the consistency. Once you get that consistency level, get those kinks out of his system, I think we'll see the finished product here.
All right, here's play 22 in the third quarter.
Yep. Okay. So here is this is the one where they let go of the this. Let's see. This is the one I think they drop into cover 3, rolls out here, and then just throws the ball. Okay. So first thing is, this is the one I put down slow processing in the pocket. At first glance, all right, he's got Kmet open in the flat there. But again, it looks like he looks at him as a second read. He goes to Kmet, and again, he looks at him, doesn't pull the trigger. And if we go from the other angle, the wide angle, there doesn't appear to be a defender around him. But then what happens is he tells Kmet to go upfield, and there's no one around him, doesn't pull the trigger. Now he tells Kmet to go upfield, and now he just throws a ball up to him and as a jump ball. And unfortunately, the defender gets his hands on the football. So this could have been a turnover here, right? So this is where, again, it's like you're seeing it looks like it was a second read, because first of all, he's looking at that receiver in the going up the numbers there, and I think that was Mooney. And it looks like he thought about throwing it to Mooney, because it looks like Mooney had one-on-one coverage with no safety help over the top. Yeah. But then once he goes to Kmet, Kmet's open, doesn't pull the trigger again, and now Kmet's kind of going up the field, and he just kind of lobs it up there. The defender gets his hands on it. So that's, again, in a perfect world, either he throws that ball to Mooney, because like I said, I'm going to be consistent. That first clip we showed with Green Bay, one-on-one coverage with Mooney, inside leverage, no safety help over the top, give your guy a shot to make a play. He didn't go there. All right, you got Kmet in the flat, wide open, throw it to him, stick it to him, and then let's see what happens next play. But again, he holds on to it, and now he's kind of scramble mode, gets pressured, throws it up there, defender gets his hand on him. Unfortunately, it's not an interception, but again, this is something where you got to take what you're given sometimes, Justin. And that's the thing with him, is such a great competitor, and he's a great athlete, and he thinks he can buy time and create plays with his feet. But there's times where you just got to get rid of the football. And, it looks like you're going to Mooney. You didn't pull a trigger there for whatever reason. You got Kmet open in the flat. Take that, and let's move on to the next play.
All right. We have one final play on our list here. It is play number 23 on my list, and I'm going to call it up right now. Here it comes.
And this is the thing that, again, this is something I encouraged them. I like these kind of plays. Here, the Patriots looks like they got 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. They're going to end up bringing 4. The pass protection here gets confused. This is where number 30 gets in between Schofield and Jones. And again, he does a great job of spinning around. He sees Kmet one-on-one on the outside. And what have I said all along? Your playmaker, give him a shot. He's out. He's got Devin McCourty on him, a safety. Kmet outsizes him. Throw it up there. Kind of what he was trying to do in the previous play, but does a nice job here because he puts the ball on the outside back shoulder of Kmet, where only Kmet can make the play on the football, not the defender, as opposed to the previous clip we just saw. And this is where you see, and this is what I want him to see him do more often. If you do see Mooney one-on-one, N'Keal Harry one-on-one, Kmet one-on-one, and there's nothing else open, give your guy a shot to make a play on a football, but put it in a spot where it's kind of protected, right? Here, like here, it's going out of bounds, it's going towards his back shoulder. The defender's not going to make a play on a football, as opposed to the previous clip. This is where I like his decision here, because and again, Kmet makes a great play. You see the body control, the adjustment to make the catch. That's a huge first down. This also was a third. That was a 3rd and 7. So another converted 3rd down here, and continue the drive going. I think this is where Kmet thought maybe he didn't catch it in bounds or whatever, and they wanted to run it real quick, and then they ran a real quick play. But but the replay showed that it was a clean catch and everything like that. So previous clip where he kind of held onto the ball too long, didn't go to Muniz's first read, had Komet in the open in the flat, didn't go to him there. Now he's in scramble mode, throws the ball up there, but throws it up where a defender can get the ball in his hands. That's not what I want. Here, pass protection breaks down immediately. He's got to scramble for his life. Rolls out, sees Komet one-on-one versus the safety. He's outside the safety, out-leveraged him. Go ahead and throw out to his back shoulder where if he doesn't catch it, it's out of bounds. It's incomplete. Not like the other one where the defender can go make a play and interception and run it back possibly. So, that's where the difference is when I say you got your guy one-on-one on the outside. There's nothing else open. Give the guy a shot to make a play on a football. We see all the greats do it. We see Brady, we see Rodgers, we see even Breeze when he was playing. When you have your guy, you trust your guy on the outside, give him a shot. Throw the ball up there and have them go up there and make a play on that football. They're tremendous athletes. They're out there making plays all the time. So, this is why, like a big body receiver, someone like an AJ Brown or something like that is something that I would love to see in this offense eventually. I can go up there and with a huge catch radius and can consistently make contested catches. A guy like George Pickens possibly.
There you go. All right. I want to play a soundbite from Matt Eberflus. He was asked about that play by Cole Kmet when he stepped out of bounds, and he immediately told the offense, let's run another play because I don't want it reviewed. He was asked about that. And I want to comment on something that I kind of detected, and I'd love to get your opinion. Let's hear Flus.
First of all, the play was a nice play. It was a good scramble. It was a good scramble drill. He got himself open and great throw and a catch. But after that, when it's near the sideline or we don't know if it's quite a completion there, we want to get on the ball and go as fast as possible. So the other opposition doesn't get a good look at the play and can't throw the flag. So that was really operation there. I thought we did a good job.
All right. I think he was lying a little bit because here's what I thought. I thought it when I watched the game, and I think it even more now based on his body language when he's asking that. I wonder if the players aren't being told when you have a catch that you think is disputed, do what Cole Kmet did, because then you're either forcing Belichick or the opposing coach to call a timeout because they want to look at it, because they want to challenge it. You know what I'm saying? So either way, you're going to win because they will burn one of the timeouts to have it reviewed or, to slow the action. Don't you think that would be something that, because he's saying, this and this. It's almost like he was trying to hide, the fact that they're telling players just immediately do that on any contested catch in the sideline so that we can get the other team to burn a timeout. What do you think?
I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, if it was, I'm sitting thinking like if that was being coached, then what? Kudos to his staff, because that's a well coached, well trained staff then or players that they know. All right, in case this is not going to get reversed, let's go run a play real quick. And when I saw that play and I saw Kmet trying to get that error at the line of scrimmage, and I have flashbacks of Matt Nagy. How many times did we have plays where we just like get the playoff, and they wouldn't get the playoff in time, and the other team would challenge and subsequently win the challenge, and that play was called back. So it's like, all right, they actually got the playoff. They actually got in formation. I think it was a handoff to Montgomery for like a 1 or 2 yard gain. I was impressed. I'm like, all right, yes. And then we ended up seeing the replay, and I was like, oh, it's a good catch. It was actually a good, clean catch. So nothing would have been reversed there. So, if it is something that's coached and he doesn't want to say it, I'm not sure why he wouldn't say it, because to me that's something that's, that tells me that the team is well prepared, and that's a coaching staff that's thinking ahead. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the better coaches do tell their players, hey, if you have any doubt, just get up and run the next play. Just run, have a generic play that they have in the book, and say, all right, just run this play. Let's just get it and make it an official. They can't go back and review it. So, and challenge it. But like I said, and if they do want to challenge it, they got to call a timeout and then challenge it, and then possibly they could lose a timeout there as well. So, right. I mean, if it is something that they coach, if I was them, I'd just say it. So I don't know.
One other quick thing I want to share with you before we get out of here. You mentioned Matt Nagy's name. And so during the press conference, Eberflus was asked about why the team is doing so well running the ball. And his response had me do this little, I think it was funny video. I posted it on Twitter, so I will play it from my Twitter account because I didn't download it here, and it's coming at you in 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, I think it starts with, obviously really just the commitment to it. You have to commit to that. A lot of people say it and they don't, then they run the ball 15 times. Yeah, I think it starts with, obviously really just the commitment to it. You have to commit to that. A lot of people say it.
Well.
He would say it.
I'll go away.
And then he would David Montgomery would have 10 carries for the whole game. And that's the one. And then guys, when I started these clips and I said, pay attention to what the play action does to the second level of defense. The linebacker's first step is always coming downhill, coming towards the line of scrimmage, and a play action and it's not even like Justin Fields is a magician with the football. I mean, just putting the ball out there, pretending like you're going to hand it off and then pulling it back is drawing these guys, because the Bears have kind of, showed on tape now that they're a good run blocking football team. They're a team that can run. They got 2 talented running backs. They got an offensive line that can create some holes, create some movement, and they can gouge you on the ground there. So that now forces everyone to come up. And then what happens is you got that, like we showed on the clips here, that nice patchy green area there for St. Brown, for Mooney, for eventually Cole Kmet to be over there. And it's a nice, easy pitch and catch for Justin Fields and an easy first down, easy conversion. So, that's why it's so important that you go ahead and just commit to the football, commit to running the football, because it is a vital part, at least of this offense.
Indeed. Danny, great job again. We pulled it off somehow. I got all these clips to you today. You were able to study them, and we put together a pretty nice show. And what Danny and I are planning on doing is to try to have a Bear Truth ready for you guys every other week, and we'll alternate with the Bear Debate. Both of those shows are heavy production shows because they're designed that way. So if NFL Plus helps us out and puts this tape out immediately, I got a brand new computer here that I can quickly do the downloads and get Danny the tape as quickly as possible so he can study them and be ready to converse. Danny, any final thoughts on the Chicago Bears or anything that we've covered with Justin Fields today?
No, just like I said, things that we've covered here tonight and also during our post-game show is just a steady improvement. And it's there. We see it. But I've been saying this probably multiple times here tonight is just I want to see those consistencies with him, in terms of that processing ability to throw the ball on time in rhythm in this offense. There's a couple of sacks here today that I pointed out where it's going to go against the offensive line, but those are really Justin Fields, taking on those sacks, and a lot of times it's just it's ingrained in him to be this playmaker because he's always been the best athlete on the football field, right? He's always been able to create time, buy time, and allow guys downfield to come back, get open, and make big plays, or tuck the ball and run downfield, make big plays. But this is the NFL, and you're in an offense now where you're gonna have to, you can use your God-given ability like you did on Monday night and make some big plays with your feet, but also you're gonna have to learn to kind of, trust the offense and trust the players around you and be able to, 1, 2, 3, bam, get the ball out of your hands, get into your playmakers' hands. And the thing is, like, what kind of confuses me, and it's something that I would like to hopefully have an answer to this for you guys and for myself by the end of the season, is why isn't he pulling the trigger when he's looking dead at the guy? That's what I want to see. Hopefully that is no longer going to be an issue by the time this season ends, that he's going to be consistent and more, in terms of getting that ball out of his hands and hitting the guys in stride. We'll see what happens, but you see it in glimpses here, and you see it, for stretches, but you don't see it consistently. And that's where I think that's the next level of development is getting that consistent. And now you'll see him then take off in terms of being a pocket passer.
Outstanding. So if we're doing a show in 2 weeks, that means we'll have Cowboys and Dolphins tape to look at. So perhaps let us know, you folks in the chat, and tweet us at where's your Twitter address here? Let me put it up on the screen for people to see. It's dshimon56 or me at Barroom Network. Let us know if you want Danny to break down any specific player, or one of the things I was thinking about is perhaps now with Robert Quinn being gone, maybe we take a look at those guys that are replacing him. We'll have those 2 games of them playing a lot more snaps and stuff. So maybe we'll do that. but would love to hear your comments in the chat room and everyone who follows us on social media. Danny, one last thing is program note for tomorrow. We've got 3 new fresh shows. 2 p.m. is Crosstown Crosstalk. They're going to be talking about the World Series. Danny, you're a baseball fan. What do you think about the Phillies and the Astros in the World Series?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good series. Obviously the Phillies, coming in as a wild card, 60th, I believe, right, and making it all the way to the World Series. So
Unbelievable.
and obviously the Astros, consistently there. I don't think they're using garbage cans anymore. I think they're actually doing it on their own merit now.
I think you're right.
So that this is something that we'll see if they can go ahead and pull it through. And obviously, I mean, a big Chicago flavor to this World Series with Dusty Baker coaching the Astros, and then Schwarber on the Phillies, and Dave Robertson on the Phillies as well. So it's
unbelievable.
Schwarber, man, that's the one that got away from you Cubs fans, man.
Wow.
You guys let the guy walk for nothing, and he's become a monster in terms of a home run hitter. So it should be fun. Obviously, with us White Sox fan, I'm a White Sox fan, and I look at Bryce Harper and what could have been, in right field. Gee, what do the Sox need right now? They need a left-handed right fielder. Well, who could have filled that bill for us? Bryce Harper.
About it.
But anyway, so it should be exciting. And obviously, as a White Sox fan, I'm waiting to see if Ozzie Guillen's going to be our manager again.
I got a feeling this might happen for Ozzie and the White Sox fans. So it's good stuff. So Crosstown Crosstalk at 2 p.m. The Mac and Reed show is going to start a little earlier tomorrow at 6 p.m. to accommodate their schedules. Those guys will be celebrating the Bears' victory and looking ahead to the Dallas Cowboys, and also doing their pop culture segment in the last 15 minutes of the show. And then at 9 p.m. Science Fiction is now moving from Wednesday to Thursday. Their time slot now is 9 p.m. I'm not sure what they'll be covering, but whatever it is, they'll be doing it with a lot of passion. Those guys are geeks. They love their science fiction. Cliff usually attends those shows, so he's that message is for you, Cliff. They're now on Thursdays at 9 p.m. So with that, we will see you all next time, and let your friends know about what we're doing here at the Barroom Network. Thanks, everybody, and thanks, Danny.